Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tesla Life number 82 for the 23rd of January, 2019.
Wow.
2019. I got that right. I didn't say 2018, but I wrote it wrong already today. So what can you do? Hello, I'm your host, Mark Coughlin for the Tesla Life. And today, look at that. We've got more than just me here. Which is
and more than just Russell with him, yeah.
And certainly our co-host, Russell Frost. How are you today, sir?
I'm just fine, but I'm not looking nearly as romantically lit, nor as
the
finely
romantic lit lighting. Yes, indeed.
As you, sir. Congratulations on the new do. You look handsome, and I can say that.
Oh, that's just wonderful. Thank you so much.
I'm secure in my masculinity, so...
Thank you very much. And our friend in Chicago, Mr. Tony Schaefer, how are you today?
Hey, I was just in the chat room comparing temperatures with Anders here.
You really know how to have fun, Tony.
Yes. Yeah, I was trying to figure out whether it was actually colder in Sweden or Chicago, and it turns out that Chicago is currently 1 degree colder. So it is -7. Right now.
Are we in F's or C's with these temperatures?
Oh, -7 C.
Okay.
And it's expected to be -20 C on Friday.
Ugh.
So for the 3% of the world, that's -5 Fahrenheit.
Are you using the C word?
Hey, it's a family show.
He's using the C letter.
Yes. Yeah.
What's up with that?
And finally, but not last, there's Evan in Central Missouri, I believe, right?
No.
Is it Central?
Southern, more Southern.
Sort of, yeah, sort of Southern.
We're
Southeastern?
only 20 minutes away from Branson, the famous
Branson. You have to say it like that too.
Country version of Las Vegas.
Oh boy.
And just to round out, Evan, what's the temp in your neck of the woods today?
Oh gosh, do I have to do the Celsius?
No, just use Fahrenheit, whatever works for you.
We're now in the low 20s. I don't know the exact temperature at the moment, but low 20s.
Well, I think we won the prize for the most swinging temperature. Yesterday it was -20 degrees Celsius. Today it's +6.
Oh my God.
And tomorrow it's going to go below freezing again. So all that nice rain and water that's flowing down the road is going to turn into a massive ice rink.
Oh, geez. So in the time you unpacked all of your short sleeve polo shirts, now you have to put them back.
Time to put them back away. Yeah, only a 1-day reprieve.
Did I mention how nice it was here in San Diego?
We're not asking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one asked.
You see a little sun on my face because I was outside today and I got okay. Yeah.
Oh, weather in San Diego is so boring.
It's awful. Believe me, we all are tormented by it every day.
Oh my goodness!
When you don't have the weather.
Yeah. Well, let's get rolling with some Tesla news this week. Our first story comes from my neck of the woods. Tesla is visiting the University of Waterloo campus coming up in early February, and they've put a link out on their actual resource page that they're looking for engineers, and they're scouring universities to find people that would be interested in working along with them, either on an intern type basis or full and part-time. They're looking for everything. And apparently they're going to be doing some, some investigation of local universities, being one of them here in Waterloo, but also other universities across North America. But this is an ongoing search for engineers and other positions that I guess have opened up. We've got another employment story later in the show, which isn't as positive as this one,
which kind of explains this one in some ways.
Yeah, I was totally thinking about that.
Yeah. So, but you can link to their careers page on the Tesla website if you would like to sign up for one of these events. You can certainly do so, and good luck to those of you who would have interest in doing so.
Yeah. So is Waterloo in the area of Canada that like is bilingual English French?
Not really. No, we would be pretty well strictly English as a whole.
Okay, I was wondering because on the site here at tesla.rexeloo.com, whatever, where it says if you're interested in pursuing opportunities at Tesla, blah blah blah, you have a language option that you can pick.
Yep.
I expected it to be English and French.
It's not, is it?
It's English and Chinese. Like, is this a new part of Canada I'm not familiar with?
That's the far East Coast.
That's Vancouver. Yeah, I was just gonna say that is very Vancouver.
The other way. Yeah.
Next story is Tony's. Too much of a good thing.
Yeah. So we always hear that too much of a good thing is not always a good thing, and it turns out that Tesla has made a lot of promises they're starting to regret, perhaps. So as you know, a few times on the show, we've mentioned, Evan has a referral code. Mark has a referral code. Patrick, we don't care about. Oh, my gosh.
Really, just in general, that's true.
Did that come out? He's in the chat room. So
he's in the chat room. Yeah.
Kidding.
Stalking tonight.
Yes, just kidding. So, we've mentioned referral codes, and, we have referral codes, and people, Patrick's swearing at me now in the chat room. But we've mentioned referral codes, and we've said if you're looking for a car, then throw some credit to people, maybe pick a referral code. It turns out that the referral codes have been a really big hit, so much so that currently over 60 people are qualified for a free Roadster, and over 20 of those should get a second one for free as well. Jeez. And this all has to do, going back to when Tesla started offering discounts on upcoming Roadster. For every 5 referral, you get a 2% discount per new referral. And so there's a chart here, and some of these people, 295 is the highest number of referrals someone has. 234 in Germany, it looks like. Was that Germany or Denmark? I mean, when I see DE, I think of Germany.
Germany.
Yeah. 224 in Canada. Someone has 217 in Great Britain. And I think they did the numbers here. Was it 160? Where did I see that? But the number. Or was it less than that?
Number of what?
Oh, it was like the number needed. 105 to get a free car. 105 referrals were needed, and right now 60 people are above that line.
Yeah. Wow.
That's to get a free Roadster.
Yep. Yes, a free new Roadster.
Right. Not a Model 3. That's a free Roadster.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, they've kind of stopped doing this program.
Not yet.
I think this. Yeah, as of the end of this month. Yeah, so so if I can only get
95 more
referrals between now and next week, I'll get a free Roadster too. So part of the problem is they continue to kind of make the referral program a little too rich. And it created this subculture of people who spent their time getting referral codes and creating content and creating web pages that when you Google search Tesla discount, that's what would come up. And so they got these hits, and they get all these referrals, or they and I know a lot of them maybe didn't technically pay people to take them, but they would give them the wall charger or offer them some incentive to use their referral code. And I don't know how you track all that down. I don't think Tesla possibly can now, but while it's nice to get a $2,000 set of rims or something like that, it's I don't think that's what I thought the nature of an ambassador type program or an incentive type program should be. It should be some nice prize. It should be a nice jacket like I've got. It should be a nice t-shirt, something that's nice to have, that you get a reward for being an advocate for Tesla and going out there and helping encourage people to buy them. But it shouldn't have become something that's so monetized like this. I mean, it's a $500,000 plus worth of car that how many 20 people get. I mean, that's ridiculous. And it's sure to doom the whole project, as it apparently has.
Yeah, and as we've said previously on the show, we have we know people with YouTube channels, not this one, much more popular. How's that? There, I said it.
That doesn't help us either.
I know, but you have people with 10, 20,000 subscribers, and they're like always constantly saying, use my referral code, use my referral code, use my referral code. And they're blasting it on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere. And so people are just using, they're like, well, I'm going to order a car anyway. I might as well just use a referral code. Oh. Also, I do need to do this. The people in the chat room called me out. I misread the article. It's 55 referrals to get a new Roadster. 105 that I said was to get 2.
So what you're telling me is that one of Elon's amazing innovations wasn't really well thought through?
I can't believe that's the case.
Yeah. Well, I think
you look at the referral code and how it was put in place, and originally the referrals only counted if it was a Model S or Model X. Then when the Model 3 came on board, they didn't qualify. And then all of a sudden, the Model 3 Performance would qualify for a referral. And then a little bit later after that, all Model 3s qualified for a referral. So this was something that Tesla absolutely had to have tracked and known exactly what was going on. I cannot believe that they were adding a lower priced car to the referral if they didn't know what was going on. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, everyone in the chat room is also saying, there should have been a, a limit, a hard limit or something.
Well, no, I mean, I think Evan really kind of said it in a way. It became a business. If it's a jacket or a T-shirt or a hat or a USB charger or a phone cover, you know what I mean? Like, so somebody gets 30 jackets. Like, oh, yeah. Right? But when Fred Lambert can collect 2 Roadsters, you got there are issues there, there are problems.
Is it really an issue? Because Tesla certainly put this in place knowing that this type of stuff was going to happen. So the sales that go through, the 55 sales that they push through, is that worth $250,000?
Well,
if you have 55 sales of 100, say $100,000 cars, just an average. If you have 55 sales, that becomes
right. But Mark, that's predicated on the assumption that those sales wouldn't have occurred anyway. And what I'm saying is, if the playing field had been more equal, so rather than having professional referral code, I don't know, sellers out there, that. What I think would have been a great incentive would be a month of free supercharging for every referral you did. Minimal cost to Tesla. I'd probably not even use 80% of mine, but I would have it. I could stack up months of supercharging. That would make you feel really good. I feel like I was getting something for doing a referral. It would cost Tesla almost nothing, and it would take away this monetization of these referral codes where people get $500,000. And I think it would have leveled the playing field. I don't think those 55 sales would have been lost. I don't think by having a YouTube channel, they're necessarily selling a lot more cars that wouldn't have already been sold. They just are the first hits that you're going to get when you Google. The first places that people are going to find them when they go look and they go, oh, I'm going to buy a Tesla. I need a referral code so I can get free supercharging. Let me hit Google and see what happens. And that's where these people all crop to the top. And
or is it possible that these people that are running some of these larger YouTube channels are reaching an audience that Tesla has no access to in the past, and it becomes the introduction, and it becomes the idea of what I want? I think you can see it on both sides. Since Tesla doesn't really have any advertising besides its own loyal clients, I don't see that Tesla, this ability to, again, I agree with you completely. The prizes should be scaled back. No one should win 2 Roadsters. All this stuff could be curtailed on a much more I guess, sustainable format. But I think taking it away is going to be something that's going to hurt Tesla in getting new car sales, because they don't do advertising at all in a traditional manner. And having all these clients, especially the new Model 3s that are going out across, all the continents, I think is a huge win for Tesla, for people to be able to talk this up and push these cars out. But you're right, the prices have to be scaled back.
But I just don't think these are new purchases. I think
they're definitely.
I think some of them are. I think the percent, it isn't 55, right? That would not have purchased, but
correct.
It's maybe some percentage of that. I mean, it's 10% that were influenced by a good YouTube video. But I firmly believe that the vast majority of these were people that just went Googling for a code. And I'll
tell you, if it were me, if I really, really, really wanted the Roadster, I would have just flat out offered to send people $1,000 if they could prove they used my referral.
Yep.
And I would.
There were some people in the earlier time through the referral code that were stricken from it. There was a guy in LA that rented out billboard space and put his code on a billboard onto a major freeway. He was the code was used, and he was stricken from the referral ability.
That seems so arbitrary, because what's the difference between that and a YouTube channel?
And exactly. Tesla did come out after that point, and they listed the rules of what
changed
could apply and what wouldn't. And they said regular advertising.
The initial rules were good faith, right? And so much for that.
Mark, I agree with you to one extent, or to this extent, that either this was a good idea and they should keep going, and it makes sense because they don't advertise and all that, and those are all very good points. They don't advertise. This is advertising. This is marketing. Either it was effective and it made financial sense, or it didn't.
Yeah.
That's really, so are they, oops.
Yeah. So, and as kind of to bring in Tony's point, and David in the chat room put, that a 2% toward a $250,000 car is $5,000. Every referral was worth $5,000. I mean, that's a lot of damn money. I mean, I don't care who you are. That's a lot of money.
Well, that is only if you get to the end too.
Right.
If you get a few referrals, you don't get there.
Right. You have 40.
But it's 2%.
But it's still 2% off. So
it's still 2% off if you plan to buy. And so even if you don't get to the end, if you get 20 or 50 or 25 referrals, you can still monetize that by buying the car with a loan and immediately reselling, probably for more than the original MSRP on it anyway.
Or what they could have done mathematically, it said you get 2% off the full price, and then the next one you get 2% off the reduced price, and then 2% off the reduced price. It's that thing of always like going halfway, walking halfway to the wall, and you would never get there.
Right.
So in this way, it would dramatically decrease the price, but it would never be free.
Yeah, I think if they completely drop it, I think that the new people that are owning these cars and starting to, they're certainly going to talk about it anyways. But I think that little bit of a extra zeal for pushing the car, the brand, may be gone. I don't know if it's going to affect them. Obviously, Tesla has looked at the numbers and maybe they believe it's not going to affect them. But I think having all the owners be part of it, be part of the sales, keeps your owner base happy. I think certainly the prizes need to be scaled back. They need to be more sustainable. But as Evan was saying, a jacket or something along that line, I think you should keep it, just because it engages owners and it pushes the brand forward.
I do. I agree. And like, I love my Tesla jacket that came with my name, embroidered on it. And I mean, that's my favorite jacket to wear around. And after that, I would love to have the supercharging, which, as I said, it's a negligible cost to Tesla, but something that makes an owner feel like they're incentivized to continue to push the brand, and which is what it should be about. It should be grassroots kind of a thing, not something that's monetized.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I think we beat that one to death.
God, you think?
Next, Evan has something about some infrared.
Hopefully, Russell's got my pictures.
I have your pictures, Tim. Here they are, Evan.
Here we go. So there's some cool stuff going around. I think Mark had some pictures as well, but somebody used their FLIR device to look at the infrared tracking or infrared signature on the Model 3 when the heater's on. And so the various things, and I think what Mark had was predominantly just the seats, which is kind of cool to look at.
I'm trying to get it just now.
See. I can see them on.
Oh, here they are. Let me just share the screen here.
So the pattern on the seats itself is very cool, but somebody went around, and I'd actually seen some pictures online of somebody who had snow completely covering their windshield, except for the spot where the forward-facing camera was. And the FLIR pictures are kind of interesting because it kind of shows why that spot was cleared, because it's either intentionally heated or it just tends to run very hot. Anyway, what we're looking at there now is a picture of the seat pattern. And
are you sure it looks like a skeleton spontaneously combusted?
The GI, you can see the GI tract.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a vagina.
It's exceptionally well. No, it's exceptionally well detailed for a skeleton.
So, so the heated rear view mirrors are up there. Well, where do we go?
There they are.
The heated rear view mirrors, and then if you notice on the little side turn signal camera, that's also a pretty good hotspot there.
There you go.
So I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting. Even the side, though, that whole thing looks pretty hot. So I don't know why that one's not hotter.
It's probably the heat's on in the car, but you can see that it's hotter right where that side camera is, right?
Yeah, and there's been some pictures now with snow falling in the Northeast that a number of cars, the owners are noticing that spot in the middle of the windshield and the spot on the B-pillar are devoid of snow. There's a little circle or something that's melted away there because there's heat being blown to those particular areas from the device itself or possibly some external. I'm not sure. I think it is the device itself gives off enough heat to melt snow, I believe.
I guess so, but should that be on when the car's off?
Yeah, no, I'm going to disagree with Mr. Coughlin respectfully and go, no, that someone was very prescient and put some sort of warming device in there for cold weather applications. That camera it shouldn't be running that hot, especially when the car isn't on.
Okay, so
only because if there's heat in a camera sensor, it shows up as noise, and it would just make the thing unviewable.
Okay.
My opinion, I could be wrong.
Well, I just noticed there is a slew of pictures of people posting that these devices are melting the snow around it. So it's
maybe that's it. Maybe if you get 20 referrals, then Tesla will send you a forward-looking infrared camera that you can take pictures.
Right. That said, I mean, let's be realistic. It doesn't have to be that hot to melt snow.
True.
You know what I mean? It's not like it has to be 1200 degrees. We're talking about something that has to maintain like 40 degrees and it's going to melt snow.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so we're not talking about enormous heating elements or a lot of electricity here.
Yeah. The only pictures that I haven't seen yet that I'd like to see is the car with the heater on and from the outside. I want to see what the door handles. Is there significant heat sneaking through there enough to melt when they freeze? Because that's one of the complaints we heard, right? Was that the doors are very tricky to open if any ice freezes on there. And I wonder how much heat leaks through there intentionally or otherwise to how long do you have to run the car if it's 20 centigrade outside or 20 Fahrenheit outside and you've got ice on there and you run that heat and will it melt or is it well sealed and not hardly anything sneaks through there?
Yeah, I'm not sure the answer to that, but there certainly are a number of people that are posting that they're having some difficulty with the handles, and that has been the case with all cars, right, Evan? Like back with the Model S, they had some issues. Well, with regular cars too, they had issues too.
Sure. Yeah, I think they sell all those little alcohol sprays and everything else. So yeah, but I think especially with these flush handles like on the 3, but that can definitely if you're trying to go out there with big gloves on and everything else, it can be a little tricky, I think, to pop that thing open. And one last thing, I want to give a photo credit to Tuan Stewart on Facebook. Those were on his feed, and I should give him credit appropriately.
Very good.
All right.
Very good.
So we've already got some show titles in the chat room. So let's see. We've got a heated conversation, and from Patrick and Derek is it getting hot in here? And almost accidentally, David, ice on the front.
Yeah, I kind of like ice on the front.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
David says that it's hard to get off.
Your Tesla's been iced. Yeah.
I got a million of them, folks.
Well, that's a good point to interject. That if you're in the chat room for the first time, feel free to send us a show title, because we certainly use the titles that our people in the chat room submit. So feel free to do so. Next. We've got a word from Frito-Lay that they're building a new distribution center in California. And you may ask, why do we care that Frito-Lay is building a new distribution center?
They make chili cheese Fritos.
Because it's chili, yes. Not exactly. Well, I guess that's part of it, but not exactly what we were going for in this story.
Damn it.
We've got word that they're trying to build a near net zero distribution center. So what they're doing is they, of course, have ordered the Tesla Semi, a number of them, for this distribution center. Also, they are going to be using solar on the roof to mitigate the amount of electricity they use. And they're going to be using Tesla power packs as a backup, and, of course, the ability to avoid surge charges during the day when they require power. So this new distribution center is going to be using, the electric car, the solar, and the battery pack storage to try to get them down to a near zero cost on electricity. So we've heard of homes doing this, certainly in Australia and other parts of the world, where you can buy a power wall and attach it to your solar and charge your car. Well, here's a slightly larger application where a business is going to be using it to move their product around and to keep the lights on at that center. So I think that's fantastic. More and more businesses, if they perform these type of things, not only are going to allow themselves to save on the bottom line, but that's also going to take, I guess, a spike off of the power grid that is currently there.
Yeah, this list of stuff here is impressive. Like you said, 15 Tesla trucks, 6 Peterbilt reconfigured, battery electric trucks, 3 battery electric BYD yard trucks, 12 iron phosphate battery electric BYD forklifts, 38 Volvo trucks fueled with ultra low carbon renewable natural gas. So there's the near net zero part. But then, the photovoltaic, the power walls, electric vehicle supply. And then they also mentioned not the supercharger, but the trucks used the mega charger.
The mega charger. Yeah.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this is, as well, keep in mind that state that lots of people like to say hates business, California, turns out CARB is coughing up half the money.
Wow.
Oh,
that's more than $15 million towards this project. Would they do it for everybody? I doubt it. I think this is a test project. This is a showcase. You go here, this works. They're going to encouraging Frito-Lay to do the other half of that retrofit. Hey, cheers to CARB. I think this is a good investment.
Codes do you think Frito-Lay had to get to?
Oh man,
yeah,
right.
But when you think of CARB, the California Air Resources Board, and you think of the diesel fuel being burned by all of these trucks and the yard trucks and the forklifts and the other stuff. I mean, it just seems the perfect fit to like you said, to show proof of concept. If this one huge factory can do it, then other places can do it as well.
I just want to bring up one little thing. I'm looking through the CARB statement here, where the state gave them more than $15 million. And of course, Frito-Lay matched it, but Frito-Lay matched it with $12 million in cash and $3.3 million in kind. So does that mean like CARB's getting free Fritos for the rest of their lives? Maybe. Is that what's up with that? Because it's right here in print. I'm looking at it. Like $3 million in free Fritos. That's serious.
That's a lot of Fritos, which goes to show you can't eat just one.
Oh. Just bad pun after bad pun.
Yeah, I optimistically read this article because I'm thinking if they're saving money by going off grid and using solar and everything, does that mean the cost of Frito-Lays is going to go down?
Only in California, Tony.
Ah, damn it!
Absolutely, everybody gets free Fritos. It's our state money.
Yeah. Well, 0100 in the it said they'll get the munchies, and David got David in the thing, he said Frito-Lay equals carbs, so that's the tie-in.
I like that. That's good.
Tie-in. So once they legalize recreational marijuana and additional Fritos, see,
look out.
So I'll the next story is something that I have some direct personal experience with. So let's talk about it. This week, Tesla laid off about 7% of their workforce. The number is about, because we don't really know, and Tesla doesn't really give that information up. This is, according to Tesla, well, in fact, let me read the statement from Elon. Quote, "We unfortunately have no choice but to reduce full-time employee headcount by approximately 7%. We grew by 30% last year, which is more than we can support, and retain the cost of most critical temps and contractors. Tesla will need to make these cuts while increasing Model 3 production rate and making many manufacturing and engineering improvements in the coming months." You'll remember last June, Tesla laid off 9%. They laid off some other folks a little bit later last year, which they kind of sort of do annually anyway. They review everybody and go, "You're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone." There's no really good news here other than hopefully Tesla will make their costs low enough to make money on the semi-mythical 35K Model 3, which is due to be produced at some point this year. This is part of that effort, reducing extra employees so that they can reduce the cost of manufacturing the car. I feel bad for all those employees, of course, that were laid off 2 weeks after Christmas. Yeah. But that's life, kids.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a big surprise to anybody. They were hiring anybody that would fog a mirror to right?
As I prove, is that what you're saying, Evan?
Yeah, I mean, they're throwing warm bodies out there. Just put this lug nut on and don't do anything else. So and then once the tax credit was gone, there's got to be some decrease, and so I think this is a natural ebb and flow of the way a big business like this works.
Is there another company that you know of that lays off between 7 and 9% of its workforce once a year?
No, but that's not something I would know necessarily. It's just not. But I understand. I think if you look at if there's a big new company out there that had a massive ramp like this because there was a big deadline to hit, I don't think it'd be surprising. No,
I agree. I think that the company is streamlining as it goes along. Processes get better. More automation is included in the manufacturing process, and by those two things, they reduce the need for people. And I think they're trying to get, as Russell mentioned, getting down to a $35,000 base car. They're cutting costs wherever they can. Tesla has gone through this in the past. Obviously, this is the second time in a 12-month period, which is new territory. But again, growing by 30% is a new territory as well. So they're just basically going through the ramp up and managing the best they can as they move through. And after a period of time, they're determining that we've got to lose a number of people in a headcount in order to remain profitable, which, of course, has been their mandate going forward now. We haven't received Q4 numbers yet. They're due to come out shortly, but they're aiming at getting some sort of a profit for that quarter as well.
Now, there is the discussion in the chat room, going back to old Jack Welch, GE, that he used to cut between 10 and 15% a year after reviews with forced ranking. And if you were in the bottom 10 to 15%, you were gone. And and that was an annual thing at GE. So that people are throwing that out just because you had kind of challenged the name any other company that does this. People in the chat room are like, GE.
GE? No, absolutely. And Jack Welch is a much beloved CEO for that sort of ruthless practice.
For the ruthlessness.
Not for the bottom 10 or 15%, I'll tell you that.
Right,
absolutely.
Right.
But for the shareholders, I bet he was.
Yeah.
So was that a chat room mic drop then on the Russell?
Maybe. There was also the who was it that had said they had missed their opportunity? Yeah, David said he had a chance at working at Tesla because I can fog a mirror. So I would throw that out as another show title. I can fog a mirror.
I can fog a mirror. I like that.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah, so certainly we don't like to see people lose their jobs, and it's never any fun for any individual or family that has to go through that. But I think that's what Tesla's doing, is they're just streamlining as time goes along, and they're making these changes to their overall manufacturing facilities, just trying to get more towards that shaving off pennies so they can get to that $35,000 base car that they have promised will come into being at some point this year.
I don't think that said it. Like you said, they don't disclose details and whatever. But I'm wondering if some of the bodies were thrown at the manufacturing process until the robots, got more streamlined, or they're not saying.
I got to believe that that's part of it. Elon went into this thinking that he could have robots do the vast majority of work, and he was proven wrong quickly out of the gate, and they had to resort to more people, more lines. They had to do it differently. And I would think that over time they will find a way to rework some of that automation into the plant, because they know that for every person on the line that's replaced by a robot, they get more efficient. And the pay typically over time is less for a bot to do that. And again, speed of automation is what's going to propel the manufacturing process, make it faster, and make cars more efficient, price-wise.
Yeah.
So do you think they would dial back a production line, just kind of extending this reduction of workforce?
They are.
What do you mean by dial back, Evan?
Like the tent?
I don't know if they'll.
It's a sprung structure, Evan.
I don't know if they'll ever take away that. Well, within the foreseeable future with the tent, because it seems that they're building a specific brand of the Model 3 there. All the performance ones are built there. But if the other plant or the other lines could get faster and take on that, I don't see that it's going anywhere shortly. But in the future, I could see them removing it if they can get the other lines up to speed to handle it.
Right.
So time will tell, I guess.
All right.
Next, we get news through the Twitter feed, which is @TheTeslaLife, if you're not already subscribing, that Tesla has sent out some invites for a winter experience. And I got all excited. A winter experience. I'm in for that. But it turns out that it's not in this continent. It is for Finland. So they're putting together a winter experience that will allow people to go out and use track mode in the snow with some professionals there to train you a little bit about how to drift that Model 3 with track mode in the snow and ice. It looks like a fun experience, but you have to get an invite. You can't just show up.
I just want to show up.
You're going to book a flight to Finland, are you? So you have to get an invite, but I don't know if you're in Europe, if you're in Finland, maybe you want to prompt your local Tesla store, see if you can get yourself an invite, because it does look like a fun experience.
Yep. So Mark, I got a email that you had to register to apply for an invite. And,
okay.
Yeah. So and you had to fill out, why you would be a good choice for going to Finland.
So you could put down that Evan, so that would be a good choice.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Guaranteed way to not go. So I actually, that's what I thought you were talking about. But yeah, at least as far as I know. Now I don't know who got the emails and who didn't, but I definitely got an email and
we did receive a copy of an invite, so we saw that someone was invited. They had the names blanked out, but it was the official invite that came from Tesla to this individual that they shared with us.
Interesting.
Yeah,
well, I haven't gotten an invite yet, so we'll see. Finland's a country I haven't been to yet, so there we go.
So if you print out this invitation and then take it,
just take that one, and in purple crayon, just write Evan over it. I'm sure you would just get in. I'm sure there would
just sign it on the bottom, Elon. And I think he puts a smiley face in the O.
He always uses a smiley face. Yeah. Our next story is about Tesla and its continued ability. In this article indicates eat risk. So this article just talks about how the other automakers, basically across the world, have been kind of playing it safe. We saw it with GM, with them closing up 4 factories, laying off people, because not necessarily that they're in trouble at this point, but they believe there is a slowdown coming in the auto industry, and that's what they're preparing for. We've got information that BMW and Audi, Volkswagen, although they are investing some money in different projects out there, they're not building a lot of factories. They're looking at some options. They're playing it safe. And this article talks about how Tesla has only one way to get bigger, and that is to take on risk. And the risks they're talking about in this particular article is the opening of a new plant in Shanghai. So they talk about the money, the capital that is being spent to build this plant on the quick, putting it in place as fast as they can so they can start delivering cars from that location. And of course, beating the Trump tariff that's currently in place that they have to abide by at this point. But it's kind of an interesting article from Inside EVs that goes through how Tesla continues to, as they say, the only thing they can do, and that is to take on risk at a fairly large rate in order for them to grow, get bigger, become more profitable as time goes along. So it's almost like their back is against the wall, and they are required to do so. Elon has mentioned in the past that he would never bet the company, as he's done on the Model 3 again. But he still has to take risk, and some of these risks are rather large, maybe not as large as what just happened with the Model 3, but opening another factory, bringing in another battery supplier for that factory as a stopgap measure till Panasonic gets up and running in that factory. There's a number of things they're doing, spending money and capital to push the company forward, and it seems they have to. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely larger companies, in good days, they're pocketing cash because they know the bad days are coming. So when they predict a slow downturn in the economy, They shutter facilities, they lay people off, they scale back because they know they've got the cash that they can slowly burn through until things pick up again. But the only way for Tesla to stay profitable is to keep growing and keep selling cars at a faster pace. So unfortunately, when you have a car company that just recently started turning a profit, there's nowhere to scale back to. There's no cash on hand that say, oh, well, we've got enough money to last, a year and a half if we sell fewer cars. No, they have to keep running in order to stay ahead. And it is an interesting predicament to see, like they say in this article, everyone else is scaling back. But yeah, they have no choice but to keep going.
And push forward.
And push forward. And, we know that the China market is growing. We know that more and more people are going to be able to afford Teslas in China and India because the middle class is growing there. People are starting to see products, especially cars, as status symbols. The Tesla is going to sell very well in China, but first they have to make it in China and do that as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Evan, any comments?
No, like so many things, I like to kind of find the middle. No, not so many everything, but this one I kind of at least one of us was. I like to find the
name one time.
This is the time. This is it right here.
This is it. Yeah, there we are. One.
We all like to find the middle.
How many times have we, actually with the Tesla success and all that? I actually do kind of stay in the middle. I mean, you just hear some extreme. Oh, they broke 300. They're taking off. They're going to take over the world, and then there's God, they've dropped 20 points. That's the end of the company. And for the at least with the stock market, I think you just have to go, yeah, okay, so they're doing this thing right, and something's going to go wrong, and then they're going to do something else right, and then something else will go wrong, and that's just kind of the way things go. We're going to talk about a story on what drives us later, but it's just about a email he sent Elon sent at 1:20 in the morning, and immediately somebody writes an article saying that. That's it. The company's dead. Yeah. It's. I don't know how you can come to these ridiculous conclusions based on one silly little thing. So,
because you want an audience.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Fair enough.
Not supported by facts, but supported by eyeballs.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Supported by clicks. Exactly.
Sure.
Next, last week we talked a little bit about somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 Model 3s on a boat, and it turns out
I can't wait to see this.
That the ship, which was called the Glovis Captain, has made its way through the Panama Canal, and we actually have photographic evidence of that particular case. There is the Glovis making its way through the Panama Canal. There you can see it in the top right-hand corner.
Okay. Look at that
time and date stamp. Look at that. That's fantastic. And then that website that we were speaking about has the ability to track the ship. So we took a look where it was. And sure enough, here's Panama City down here in the bottom right. And this little square here is the Glovis Captain. Made its way through the Panama Canal and now is out to open sea, heading towards Europe with its load of Model 3s.
Wait, what's the name of the
Glovis Captain?
Glovis Captain.
That is the show title.
Glovis Captain?
Glovis Captain, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the ship is on its way, and those of you who ordered early in Europe, man, your car could be sitting on that car deck on its way right now.
Maybe they're driving it around the deck.
Yeah.
They
could. It's big enough.
They might be. They might be out there drifting your car.
Drifting on the deck. Yes. Oh, lost another one over the side. Damn. Yeah, exactly. Next, going to talk a little about the raising and lowering of supercharger pricing. Yeah, Evan's going to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this got everybody in a tither, I guess. Over the week, Tesla kind of all at once spontaneously raise the prices of supercharging at pretty much every supercharger in the country. Some of them were as much as a third higher than they previously were, and people got very upset about that. And apparently there was enough backlash that Tesla decided to back it back down. And I don't honestly, I haven't seen, I don't know if they backed everything down to the original prices, or did they?
No, still up a little bit.
Yeah, still up a little bit. So, I guess that's how you make people happy. You take away a lot and then give back a little.
Well, it's the exact same thing as gas prices, right? So gas was $2 and then it was $2.50. Everyone complained, and then it settles at $2.25, and everyone's like, "Oh, look how cheap the gas is."
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what's going on here with that, unless they're just somebody actually started counting the beans and figured out that if they want to continue to build out the supercharger network, that they're going to have to not continue to lose as much money on the superchargers that are in existence as they currently are. And I don't think, even at the higher increased prices, I don't think there's any way in the short term that they're going to be able to balance the costs of both the power and the building of the network that they have so far. But I think they're trying to offset some of those losses so they can continue expansion. That would be my best guess. But because certainly what they're getting per kilowatt right now is higher than the actual electricity cost.
Allegedly. Do we actually have any real numbers on what Tesla makes or doesn't make on supercharging? Because I've never seen anything.
Well, we don't know the individual breakout, but we do know when they're charging at different sites. That's published. They know what you're being charged per kilowatt.
Right. No, I just
over time.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry. I just meant, have they ever done a financial filing where they broke it out and said, "Hey, supercharging, we lost X dollars this quarter, or we made X dollars this quarter"?
Nope, I believe that's just rolled up into one big financial statement.
Yeah, right, but here's the thing with the supercharging network. So we know that Tesla's not putting them up for free. They have to buy the equipment, they have to run the electricity, they have to buy the real estate, they have to install the things and maintain the things, and then they're supplying the fuel. So where do they recoup that money? Is it the cost of the cars?
Well, I think in some cases the land is given to them to use because, and there are other deals where it's been reported that some places will even supply part of the electricity. There's different financial models that are in play here at this time. It's not just a straight, they got to buy the land and then they install the hardware and then they pay for the power. There's a number of different things that are changing as reported. Some people say that they're supplementing it because their business is there and they're drawing in Tesla customers as they're waiting the 40 minutes to charge. So it is all over the board. I don't know to what effect it is, that's a small percentage or large percent. I have no idea, but there are different I guess formulas in play.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there that if they have to recoup their investment somewhere, then maybe moving toward the $35,000 Model 3 is getting the cost of the superchargers, making them self-sufficient rather than having to absorb those costs somewhere else, i.e. in the cost of a car.
Yeah.
I'm just, just trying to justify it, because I don't have a problem with them raising the cost of the electrons because I don't have a supercharger. Suck it, monkeys.
So I mean, you have to what's the cost of building out the supercharger network per car that they sell? Part of this is just the cost of doing business, right? I mean, what do we say? Every other car manufacturer that says they're going to build this great electric car that's going to charge in 30 seconds and go 500 miles, we scoff because they don't have a network. Right. And Tesla does. And that is what makes Tesla the superior electric car that you can buy right now, period. Hands down, no question about it. So it is part of, and they don't advertise, right? So the cost of doing business instead of advertising for them is building out superchargers right now. Yeah. Do they want to start mitigating that cost to some point? 100%. guarantee it's still a loss leader for them, but it is the way that they are staying on top of the business right now. And yeah, absolutely. At some point, that's all going to have to shift and they're find some balance in there. And maybe they're going to start having to contract with, Shell and BP to install superchargers on their lots. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot that's going to change over the next 10 years, and is the way the superchargers are built out and where they're placed. But it's a cost of doing business.
Yeah. Until electric vehicles, I don't think anyone had ever considered, after 1920, no one had ever considered that it is the manufacturer's responsibility to provide fuel to the consumers.
Right.
And I'm kicking back that long ago because I remember on What Drives Us, someone I think shared a picture of a Ford gas station or something like that.
Yeah. Well, last story of the night. Our friend from Norway, Bjorn Nyland, has done a little bit of an efficiency study using a number of EVs recently. He took a Bolt, a number of Model 3s and S's, and a Ioniq as well, and took them out for a standard run across about, I think it was about 120 kilometer range total, which is roughly 75 miles, and kept them at a constant rate of speed over that mileage, so 75 miles per hour, and tracked the efficiency for each car and brought the information back. And just got a photo here of this. Is, of course, is on our Twitter feed at The Tesla Life if you wanted to check out the video or the link to the video. But what we've got here is the result with the kilowatts per kilometer and per mile usage for the different cars. And what's interesting to see is that the long battery pack rear-wheel drive with 18-inch aero wheels was the winner of all the cars. It was the lowest consumption of battery for the distance and speed traveled at 144 kilometers per watt hour, or 232 watt hours per mile. And then next, very close, was the Hyundai Ioniq, and then a plethora of Model 3s with different options, like all-wheel drive or larger wheels. The Chevy Bolt EV came in at 178 watt hours per kilometer. And finally, rounding out the bottom, the Model S, which was the efficiency pig in this particular contest. But it was interesting to see them. They all went out. It was in California. It was a run up, basically up 4,000 feet, I believe, along the track, and then back. And all the cars did it within minutes of themselves. So there wasn't a different atmospheric or weather cases. It was they were all basically the same. It's not completely scientific, but it is interesting to see that the rear-wheel drive base Model 3 that was available at the time was the winner. But maybe those aero wheels really do give us another 10% efficiency or 20% efficiency. It's interesting to see.
So I know it's a Tesla show, but I've reviewed the Hyundai Ioniq and the Kia Niro, and I will say I was absolutely impressed by how far I could drive those cars on battery. I honestly think Hyundai is killing it with this. I'm not surprised to see the Ioniq that high.
Yeah, it's they build themselves as one, if not the top EV in efficiency. That's part of their advertising shtick. So I wasn't surprised to see that they were up there, but I was surprised that a much larger, heavier car was able to beat them just barely. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that is the show today. We've run just a little bit over an hour. Shoutouts. Mr. Frost, do you have any shoutouts this evening?
I love doing a shout out. Yeah, look at in 58 minutes, you can watch What Drives Us at youtube.com/What Drives Us. And we'll talk a little bit more about Tesla and some other interesting topics. Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. Mr. Fusco.
Only need 54 referrals to get a free Roadster.
That's beautiful.
I'll make a damn YouTube video if you want, whatever you want.
$500 per referral if he gets the free one.
Very good. Mr. Schaefer.
As always, everyone in the chat, it's always great getting, you know, a lot of good information, good supplemental stuff in the chat room. Thanks for taking an hour out of your life and spending it with us.
Absolutely. Very good. Very good. And wanted to let everyone know, if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, this is the time to do it. Press that subscribe button, press the alert bell so that you get notified when these shows kick off. It gives us an extra number. We would really appreciate it. Please do so now before you forget.
Oh, I should get on that.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. That really helps us. If we can't get our own panelists to press the subscribe button, my gosh, we are in a lot of trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. But also, you can find us again on Twitter at The Tesla Life. You can find us on Facebook, The Tesla Life #1. We'd also like to reach out and thank Lee Moon for providing music that we use for the show every week. Thank you, Lee. It's always appreciated. And I even have one last thing.
Of course you do.
That you people just are not going to believe. If I didn't have photographic proof, I don't think you would believe me.
It's a naked picture or something, right?
No, it's worse.
Oh, no.
It is worse.
No.
Yes. This gentleman decided that he was going to make his Model 3 unique and attach a set of bullhorns to it. And there he is drilling into his hood.
No!
Oh!
And there they are mounted to the hood.
Oh, well, that's so wrong.
I don't know
yes.
why. But this certainly got a lot of responses on the Twitter feed. But,
they don't even look like they're straight. Holy shit.
Oh, my goodness. So you just got to say why. But
you totally ruined my dinner. Thanks.
That was just something that was unbelievable. But hey, all different people enjoy different things. And all I can say is I don't enjoy bullhorns on my Model 3. So with that, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We will see you next week, and then you will find out what is happening in the Tesla life. Good night, everybody.
See ya.